Namaskar. Welcome to the example number 1 for the event 1 health and longevity. In this example, we are going to study a birth chart of the male native who is suffering from bipolar disorder. In general, we have to find the strength of the lagna and moon in a birth chart before giving any predictions, because based on the strength of the moon only, the native's thought process, mental stability will be there. Any sort of problems, how that moon is going to think about that, that is most important. In general, what moon is going to be strongly favorable to the lagna or not. Moon is the Karaka planet for the mind. And next one is the lagna. Lagna is the one which is going to handle the situation. Lagna's attitude is going to, how that Lagna is going to face the problems or handle the situation, or Lagna itself is going to face hurdles, struggles. Based on that only, that Lagna, that native is going to think about the problems or anything based on the moon strength, that based on the Lagna strength only, Lagna is going to handle or proceed or going to take the situation forward. So that strength of the lagna and strength of the moon is important before giving the predictions. In this case, in this example, the native is suffering from the bipolar disorder. It means that what is bipolar disorders, what are the significations astrologically and all, I will be explaining. What we have to keep it in mind, when the moon is disturbed, when third house, that is thought process, is disturbed, that lagna is going to face problem in thinking and also in executing the things. So that is that based on the unfavorable significations or based on the impact of that weakness or affliction to the moon and also third house and also importantly lagna also, that native will suffer from such disorder. So let us now examine this chart, how this native is suffering from the bipolar disorder. Example 1, bipolar disorder. What is bipolar disorder? Let us now, discuss about bipolar disorder on medical views. As per medical, bipolar disorder, formerly called as manic depressive illness or manic depression, is a mental illness that causes unusual shifts in person's mood, energy, activity levels, and also concentration. These shifts can make it difficult to carry out day-to-day tasks. Bipolar disorder is a mental illness that native will have unusual shifts in his mood and energy, activity levels, and also concentration. He will not be able to focus on certain things for some time. There will be shifts. It will make the native too difficult to carry out day-to-day tasks. Importantly, mind is disturbed because the moon is disturbed, right? So medical views, this is the terms. As per astrological views, affliction to moon by 6, 8, 12 lords and its unfavorable signification signified by the moon with the grouping of 3, 6, 8 and 12 along with the influence of Rahu or Ketu or Saturn. It means sometimes moon is afflicted by 6th lord, 8th lord or 12th lord. That is one point. Moon is afflicted by conjunction aspect of these 6, 8, 12 lords. And moon through the star level and sub level, if it is having this 3, 6, 8, 12 grouping, third house is thought process, communication. 6, 8, 12 trouble giving houses to the lagna. I explained in one of the video in the lesson, in the analysis methodology, the 6, 8, 12 grouping significations unfavorable to the lagna. If moon is signifying, third house is signifying, that Karagatva is going to face struggles. Right? So that way, affliction to the moon by 6, 8, 12 lords and its unfavorable significations with the grouping of 3, 6, 8, 12, along with the influence of the Rahu or Ketu or Saturn. Because apart from this house grouping unfavorable to the moon and also Lagna, and Rahu, Ketu or Saturn, if they are all influencing, that impact is going to be more. Now we are talking about the moon. Now let us discuss about the third house. Third cuspal lord or third cuspal sublord are signifying grouping of 3, 6, 8 and 12 houses. It adds weakness because moon is afflicted and thought process, third house also is signifying these houses. It indicates unfavorable signification. It adds weakness. Not only moon, third house also should have the problem. Then only the bipolar disorder will be forming. If Lagna also is afflicted, the impact will be high. If airy or watery signs are all involved, it further adds weakness because they are all talking about airy sign and watery signs or instability, wavering mind. All these things will add fuel to that problems. Especially during the moon dasa or Bugdi periods, the intensity will be high because when moon is afflicted, that afflicted planet itself is ruling the dasa lord, then automatically that during that period, that native will face more problems. So moon has to get disturbed, afflicted, and third house get disturbed. Lagna also get disturbed. It is going to be more unfavorable. Along with that, that respective dasa, if it is playing, it is going to be more unfavorable. So based on the impact of the unfavorable significations, the level of affliction will be there. I think you are able to understand. So we have now discussed on the what is bipolar disorder, medical views and also astrological views. Now let us examine the birth chart of this native, how in astrologically that native's moon is disturbed, third house is disturbed, and how the running periods are making that native to suffer from such mental disorder. This is the birth chart of that male native, which we are going to study for the bipolar disorder. Since this is the first example of this video course, let me explain some of the important points on the output of the software. This is the output of the EPS software. In this, you can see the birth chart. This is as per the, selection, whether you are selecting South Indian chart or North Indian chart, East Indian chart, you can choose any of this. You can see options, KP chart, that is South Indian chart, or Rasi chart of the North Indian, or Bhavachalit chart, or Eastern chart. Anything you can choose on your, according to your interest. Similarly, on the right-hand side, you have got the small chart, whether you can go for, Bhavachalit chart or Rasi chart of the North Indian. So any options you can choose. So, for the benefit of the North Indian charts, you can have this KP chart, that is South Indian chart on the left-hand side, and North Indian chart on the right-hand side also. There is one more option also, it is present. You can go to the view horoscope and you can click that North Indian charts or Control H. You will have these, Rasi chart and Bhavachalit chart together. You can move anywhere and you can study both the Rasi and Bhavachalit chart together. Because for North Indian chart followers, they need both the charts. But for the KP chart or for the South Indian charts, this one chart is enough. Okay, so then you can see the, planetary rulers and cuspal rulers and ruling planets. And you can see at the bottom, you can see that EPS tables of all 9 planets. EPS tables with the self-signification only. That is CL, OCC, CST, and CSL of each planet, star lord of the star lord, sublord, and star lord of the sublord are given here. The planet which are in the supports, that is Rasi Lord, conjunction, aspect, all these things will not be here. That will be present in the EPS. If you click EPS event, there you will have all 9 planets extended significations table, because in the home page we were looking at only up to the CSL. But conjunction aspected by aspecting Rasi Lord or Rasi Lord for or a second planet in the supports, all these things will not be there in the home page, many tables of EPS. In this EPS page, we'll have all the columns, all support planets will be there. Each planet, support planets will be shown in these EPS tables, right? All 9 planets shown one below the other based on the Vimsotri Dasa order, it will be there. And if you want, you can choose any order also by way of your planets order or current Dasa Bhukti order. Accordingly, the display also will change. You can see here health, event selection. Now I have already chosen the health Ubaya Lagna because according to the Lagna, whether it is Chara, Sthira or Ubaya, software, it will select automatically whether it is Ubaya Lagna or Sthira Lagna or Chara Lagna, because based on that, Bhataka Lord will change, Bhataka house will change. So there are many events default stored in the software. So you can choose any of the event by scrolling down. You can choose any of the event, and their favorable houses and unfavorable houses also will be given. You can find these favorable and unfavorable houses according to the event that will be shown. Then accordingly, the favorable will get the green color, blue color will be there, and unfavorable houses will get the red color. So that house colors will get such colors. The favorable houses will get the green and blue. A will green, and B and C will get blue colors, and red color, that is D1, D2, D3. Unfavorable houses will get the red colors. So I think you are able to understand. So based on that only, that all the planets will have the grouping, that houses will get the colors. So now let me go back to the home page. Now you can see all 9 planets in a single screen. We can see all 9 planets, rulers and their self-significations. So if you, whenever you want to check the complete signification of each planet, that is EPS table, just double click on that planet. Suppose I want to see the complete table of the EPS table of the Mars. Double click on the Mars, that EPS table will appear. If you just right click on this, it will show the house grouping tables also. Then below that are all analyzer table that you need not bother. You have to focus only on the EPS table and house grouping table. Okay, so I think I have made some brief introduction on this. Now what we have to do? Before proceeding further, we have to do the general study on the birth chart, right? So as I am convenient with the South Indian chart, I will discuss on the South Indian chart. Anyway, for the benefit of the North Indian chart followers, let me keep open that Rasi chart and Bhava Chalit chart, so that whenever what I'm discussing, you will understand with this. Before proceeding further, it is always recommended to do the general study on the birth chart. What we have to do? We have to do the study on the Lagna and the moon strength for this event. According to the event, we can choose the primary favorable house, Lagna, and also suppose if you want to check the marriage, 7th Lord, we have to check it. Lagna and 7th Lord and Karaga planet also. Now we are going to talk about the health parameter, especially on the bipolar disorder, Lagna strength and moon strength, and third house we have to check, right? Basic study only. Suppose Lagna is falling in the sign of Virgo. Lagna Lord, where it is posted? Lagna Lord posted in the 4th house. Now it is in the sign of the Jupiter. That Jupiter is posted in the sign of Mercury. It means what? Mercury and Jupiter are in sign exchange. Both are in each other's sign. Jupiter is Badhaga Lord to this Lagna. So that Lagna Lord is in sign exchange with Badhaga Lord. So, and that Jupiter is also aspecting to the Mercury. So that Lagna Lord is under the influence of the Jupiter Badhaga Lord. That is one point. Now, what we have to do that Lagna, whether it is afflicted by 6, 8, 12 houses, and similarly 3rd house, and similarly moon. If they are all connecting or signifying these houses, they are all influenced by these house lords, then it is indicating Lagna is afflicted, or third house matters are afflicted, or moon is also afflicted. Here in this basic study, we are going to study only with the cuspal lordship and occupying house, not with the CST, CSL extended signification. We will not be checking in the natal chart. That will be doing extended signification. We will be doing by way of studying the EPS tables. Now let us check, because this is important. Though this is very, basic study, this is the source. Basically, in the Lagna Lord is weak and third Lord is weak. Moon Lord is weak in CLOCC itself, and also conjunction aspect are also influenced by this signification. In the source itself, it has got weakness. In the extended signification, also it is having more such signification. It is going to be more unfavorable. Anyway, that Lagna Lord Mercury in the sign of Jupiter that we discussed. Now, Mercury is conjoined with the Saturn and Sun. All the three planets are in the sign of Jupiter. Saturn is fifth lord and sixth lord. Saturn is fifth lord and sixth lord. Sun is 12th lord. So that Lagna Lord is conjoined with the fifth lord, sixth lord, and 12th lord. So Lagna Lord is influenced by sixth lord and 12th lord. Of course, fifth lord also present, that is good. And that Lagna Lord is also influenced by the Badhaga Lord Jupiter. Now, Lagna Lord is connecting to the 6th Lord and 12th Lord and afflicted by these planets. But 5th Lord also there, it is good. Then who is that 8th Lord? 8th Lord planet is Mars. Whether that Lagna Lord is connected to Mars? No, Mars is in own sign, but it is not afflicting the Lagna Lord, that is fine. So Lagna Lord is in the Badhaga sign, in the Badhaga Lord's sign, and afflicted by the Badhaga Lord by aspect, and afflicted by the 6th Lord and 12th Lord planets also. It is indicating some weakness to the Lagna. It is not completely unfavorable. You have to keep it in mind. Now what we have to do, we have to look at the moon. Where is moon? Moon is posted in the sign of Leo, 11th Lord occupying the sign of Leo, but as per the house, it is occupying 11th house. 11th Lord occupying the 11th house, it is fine. But that moon is in the sign of Sun, that Sun is 12th Lord. So some weakness to the moon through the Rasi Lord, that will be there. But that is not completely unfavorable. Whether moon is afflicted by unfavorable planets, 6th Lord, 8th Lord, 12th Lord are afflicting moon, no, directly it is not there. But moon is represented by Ketu. Ketu is occupying the sign of moon. So that moon is getting influence of the Ketu. Moon is not afflicted, but Ketu is aspected by Venus. Venus is what signification? Venus is 2nd Lord, 9th Lord in the 5th house, conjoined with Rahu, aspecting to Ketu. So Venus is aspecting to Ketu, occupying 11th house, with the 9th Lord and 2nd Lord signification from the 5th house is good only, not bad. It is not indicating any 6, 8, 12 significations. But Ketu occupying the sign of moon, indicating some affliction. But as per the cuspal lordship and occupying house, it is not indicating any weakness directly. But only in the extended signification, we have to check whether that Ketu is having unfavorable houses in CST and CSL, whether Venus is having unfavorable CST and CSL and giving unfavorable to the Ketu, or moon also having in CST and CSL, it is having unfavorable houses. So that we have to check it. But in general, moon is not directly influenced by the any 6, 8, 12 grouping. But moon is afflicted by the Ketu, which is occupying the sign of moon. That is the only point. So now we have studied the moon, which is not directly unfavorable. We have studied Lagna Lord also. Next one, we have to study the third house. Third house is communication, memory, thought process. which is the third house. Third house falling in the sign of watery sign, Scorpio. Third lord and also eighth lord, Mars, in own sign. So third lord, eighth lord occupying third house in its own sign, that too in the watery sign. This is indicating some weakness to the thought process, right? Third house, eighth house occupying 3 and 8. So Lagna will face some hurdles in the thinking process. That too in the sign of watery sign, there will be always some sort of wavering mind will be there. That is one unfavorable signification as per that third house matters is afflicted by way of eighth house and 383 combinations. Now that Mars is afflicted by any 12th house, any 12th lord, or sixth lord, directly it is not afflicted. Only by way of only way of extended signification, and also level wise Mars in the star and sub of any unfavorable key planets we have to see. Now, in this general study, what we could see that Lagna lord is afflicted by 6, 8, 12, and that Badhaga Lord also connected to that. And third house matters, third Lord is getting the 383, that water chain is connected. And Moon is not directly afflicted, but Moon represented by Ketu is afflicting that Moon sign, provided that Ketu is having unfavorable significations. But as far as now Ketu occupying the 11th house, it is favorable, aspected by Venus. That Venus is ninth lord, second lord, aspecting to that Ketu. That is fine. But Venus is ninth lord, afflicted with the Rahu. And we have to see based on their signification, in extended significations only, we can find the strength and weakness. So now third house is disturbed and Lagna lord is having weakness, and Moon is not detrimental on the by basic study, right? Now what we have to do, once we have studied that general study, next point we have to do, next step we have to choose the event. I have already chosen health over Lagna. Once you have chosen the event, next step we have to go and check the self significations, the strength and weakness of the self signification. And also we can give the colors also according to their strength. We can give some colors, whether favorable or unfavorable. Based on their signification, we can give any of the colors according to our convenience and understanding. Now, let us start with the Lagna. We are talking about only self-significations. Lagna Lord, 10th Lord, occupying 4th house, and 5 and 11 cuspal sublord. Lagna Lord, 10th Lord occupying 4th house, it is indicating some weakness but not detrimental, but 5 and 11 cuspal sublord is good. So Lagna Lord is signifying favorable houses. Because of the 10 and 4, we cannot say unfavorable, but 5 and 11 are good because cuspal sublord for 5 and 11. So Mercury we can give light green. If it is not having 10 or 4, it is not having 4th house, it is having 3rd house or 5th house favorable to the Lagna, I would have given dark green. It is only, favorable houses, but some weakness, not weakness. It is not having a favorable 10 and 4. It is not very good for the Lagna for the thought process. So I have given light green. Then we have to look at the third house. Third lord, because the event, that third house connected. Third lord, eighth lord occupying third house. This is indicating some weakness to the third house. And 2, 6, 10 cuspal star lord. 2, 6, 10 is good for the professional prospects, and it is not unfavorable to the Lagna, but 3, 8, 3, it is indicating some weakness. And 2, 6, 10 also not very good for the Lagna strength. So we can say this Mars, we can 3 and 3 is fine, but 3 connected to 8 is not good. So what we can do, Mars we can give pink. Pink means we can indicate it is a mixed one. Mixed planet K, we can give the pink shade. And now let us check the 5th lord. 5th lord, 6th lord occupying 4th house, 7 and 11 cuspal star lord, and 1 and 7 cuspal sublord. 6 and 4, it indicating some weakness, but not unfavorable. For fifth lord occupying fourth house, it's some weakness. 6 is supported by 4, but 7 and 11 are supportive, but 1 and 7 also supportive, but being the seventh house is the Badaka house, indicating some weakness. But look at the second planet of the Saturn, Rahu. Rahu occupying fifth house, 312 cuspal sublord. So it means what? Rahu has got some weakness because of the 3 and 12 cuspal sublord. So it indicates what? That Saturn has got some mixed signification, not unfavorable on its own, being the sixth lord and occupying fourth house and having got seventh cuspal sublord and Lagna sublord and having got connection to the Rahu 3 and 12. So we can say Saturn also mixed, right? And now let us check the Rahu, because we studied Saturn. Let us check Rahu. Rahu occupying fifth house is good, but 3 and 12 cuspal sublord is not good. Though third house is giving the blue color because it is favorable to the Lagna, but when 3 is connected to 12, it is indicating some trouble to the third house matters, right? It is not good to the Lagna for the third house matters, some weakness to the third house matters. And the second planet, 5, 6, 4, 7, and 11, and 1 and 7, that we already studied, we are given the mixed signification. So Rahu also we can give mixed. Mixed in the sense it has got favorable also, it has got some weakness also, right? Now let us check Jupiter. Not required that we have to look at this order. We can check from Ketu to Mercury one by one also. But according to the event, we have to check the Lagna. Then we can check the primary house and 11th house, and one by one we can go move towards the unfavorable. Or according to your convenience, you can do that. So because Jupiter is Badaka Lord, 4th Lord, 7th Lord occupying 10th house, 3rd star Lord and 9th sublord. So this being the Badaka Lord and having got some weakness, and 3 and 9 are favorable to the Lagna, so we can make Jupiter also fit. So because we can see that there are many planets are having mixed significations. Now Moon, let us give focus on the Moon, because Moon is 11th Lord occupying 11 is good. But 4 and 6 cuspal sublord. 4 and 6 cuspal sublord, that is Moon. 11 and 11 are good. Representing Ketu. Ketu occupying the sign of Cancer, we studied, na? That Ketu is 4, 8, 12 cuspal star lord and second cuspal sublord. This grouping is very bad. Moon, Karaga planet for the mind, is good, but having got 4 and 6 cuspal sublord, no favorable cuspal sublord. And 4, 8, 12 star lord and second cuspal sublord, Ketu, which is supporting to the Moon. So definitely, Moon is also mixed one because of the 11 and 11. Since we have already given pink shade to the some planets having got mixed, but this unfavorable grouping is strongly present, we can give Moon is light red because it has got unfavorable strongly. So Karaga planet Moon itself having some unfavorable grouping strongly. Now let us talk about Ketu. Moon we studied. Now let us talk about Ketu, second planet of the Moon. Ketu occupying 11th house, 4, 8, 12, and second cuspal sublord representing Moon same. So the Ketu also we have to give light red, right? So now let us check the Venus. Second lord, 9th lord occupying 5th house. The second lord is not a problem. 9th lord, that is Bhagyasthan and high thought process, occupying 5th house is good, but moving towards 8 and 10 cuspal sublord. So 8th house is not further supported. Sorry, 9th house is supported by 5th house, but that is not further supported by result giving planet, that is cuspal sublord for 8 and 10. So that 8th house and 10th house are unfavorable. 8th house connected to the 10th house, 3rd house to the 8th house. 8 and 10 are not good to the 9th house. So this Venus also having favorable and unfavorable, but unfavorable on the CSL and second lord and 8 and 10 cuspal sublord. To differentiate from other planet, Venus also we can give light red, or we can give pink also, but we have got many pink shades. In order to differentiate that planet, we are giving light red. If only unfavorable strongly present, we can give dark red. So I'm giving light red only. It is indicating some weakness are there, especially at the CSL level, right? Venus. Sun planet, 12th Lord occupying 4th house and 159 star Lord. Starting with the unfavorable, moving towards 4. 12 and 4 is not good, indicating some weakness, but not having 8th house. And 159 star Lord is good. So this is mixed one. Like other planets we have given, we can give this sun can be given pink. Because why we are given Ketu and Venus and Moon, why we are given that pink shade, sorry, light red, they are all having that 8 and 12, 8, 10, and 6, 8, 12 grouping. Here, 12th Lord occupying 4th house, it is not completely unfavorable. Absence of 8th house, absence of 8 and 12 grouping, 6 and 12 grouping is not there, but moving towards 1, 5 is comparatively better. I think we're able to understand, because such practice is more important on the self-signification study. So in the coming videos with all the examples, I will be explaining for each event, according to that event, each planet, I'll be spending time in explaining the self-strength and giving the colors also. That will be more useful in studying the self-signification strength. So that will give more practice on the strength of the self-signification. So then the same process only we are going to study in level-wise study also. Planet, star lord, sublord, how we are going to study top to down. Before that, we are going to do the left to right. So the same process, method of analysis only we are going to do by top to down combined study. So this is most important, because finding the self-signification of each planet, it itself will give that strength and weakness of all the 9 planets, right? As I said in the one of the video, when you study the self-signification of all planets, if you find more planets are having the unfavorable key planets of 8 and 12, that is indicating overall that native is going to face struggles. Now, which planet is having that? Moon, Karaka planet, Moon, and representing Ketu. 1, 2, 3 planets are having this signification. Venus, Ketu, and Moon are having this unfavorable grouping. Now, the planet which are all in the star and sub of these planets, they will face problem. Moon is having weakness. Moon in the star and sub of these other unfavorable key planets, then definitely Moon Karagatva is getting disturbed. So that's what we have to keep it in mind, right? So that's you have to practice yourself by spending some time on the self-signification, and you can give the colors. That option is there in the software. So according to your understanding, you can give the color. Suppose if you give some color and after that you want to, no, I want this color, because sometimes we'll give us own color for on some basis. But after completion of that coloring of the planets, then we'll feel that to differentiate from other planet, we'll want to give this planet can be blue, or this planet can be a pink shade, or it can be a green. So any color, light blue or dark blue, whatever the color you want, you can give it, that you can change anytime. So what is the advantage of that? Once we completed the study on the self-signification, you can set colors. So once you set the colors, the planets wherever they are coming in the rulers, you can see in the EPS table, whether in the rulers or in the supports, wherever they are coming, they will get the colors. The planet's name will get the colors. You can easily identify, locate those planets, red or pink or blue or green. With the help of the colors, we can identify favorable planets or unfavorable planets for the event we can identify. So I think you're able to understand. So once we have given that color, let us go to back home. So now you can look at this home page, all the planets, EPS tables, small mini EPS tables, all the rulers are having these respective that colors of the planets based on the self-signification strength, what we have assigned. And if you double click on it, the EPS table will appear. That also will have all the planets in supports also. It will have the same colors. It will be useful for us to locate the planets, favorable and unfavorable key planets. Now let us focus on the study on the destiny. So for that, what I can do, we can keep open that self-significator tables also while we are studying all the planets, the destiny or dasa periods. How we can do, you can go to view horoscope and you can check self-significator. If you click, that will open, or just you Control G. If you click Control G, if you press that, it will come the self-signification of all planets. You can move anywhere and you can keep at one place for your convenience, because you can see the self-signification of each planet, and also you can keep open that natal chart so that any planet is conjunction, Rasi Lord, everything we can see here, and signification we can find with the self-signification table. Okay, so now let us check the Lagna. We have studied already Lagna, basic study we have studied. Lagna Lord is influenced by other planet we have studied. Let us study the same thing now. Let us with extended significations. Let me keep open that North Indian chart also, so that you can check those planets who wish to refer to the North Indian chart for the Rasi Lord and conjunction aspect planets. They can check this also. Look at Mercury. Mercury is green planet because Mercury is a favorable. We have already given. In the star of Venus is light red because 295 is good and 8 and 10 cuspal sublord. Lagna is going to face this one. Lagna Lord 5 and 11 cuspal sublord. 5th cuspal sublord, 11th sublord, and Lagna sublord. So Lagna Lord is going to experience this favorable 9 and 5 is good, but also 8 and 10. Lagna is going to face some obstacles and hurdles. Now that Venus in the star of Sun, because one planet, one level is having some weakness, based on the star lord of that level, the next level planet, that unfavorable strength will be increased or decreased. That is the rule. And that level planet in support, if it is having favorable strength will be increased, unfavorable will be reduced. Suppose the planet in supports to the Venus having unfavorable will be increased. Right? Now let us check the rulers, then we'll go for the supports. Venus is having favorable with 8 and 12 cuspal sublord, so it has got the light red. Venus in the star of Sun is also a pink shade, is also a mixed one. It is going to support also, it is going to, give unfavorable support to this 8 and 12 by 12 and 4, and favorable support to this 9 and 5 with the 159. It is a mixed significator. And what sublord is going to give? Sublord is Rahu, 5th occupant and 3 and 12 cuspal sublord. We have given this pink shade because of this 5, 3 and 12. But 3 and 12 is indicating like 3 and 8. So, it is indicating some weakness to the third house meters, right? So now what happens? Venus is 8 and 12 cuspal sublord. Sublord is having 5, 3 and 12. So 8 and 12 will get the support of these 3 and 12. So automatically 8, 10 and 3, 12 significations by the star level and sublord. Along with that, favorable 9, 5, right? 9 and 5 and sublord is 3 and 5, right? All are present. Star lord of the star lord also having both favorable and unfavorable. So the star lord and sublord are on the, especially in the CSL level, having unfavorable house to the Lagna. 5th house meters are going to face this one. 11th house meters are going to face this one. Lagna is going to experience this one. What the sublord of that Rahu sublord is further supported by the, with the favorable significations in the star lord of that Rahu. Star lord of the sublord is Mars, that is also pink, 3, 8 and 3 and 2, 6, 10. You can see this pink shade with the 3, 8. This is pink shade with the 3, 12. So what happens? Each level Lagna is in the star of 8 and 10. Sublord is talking about 5, 3, 12. And star lord of the sublord is talking about the 3, 8 and 2, 6, 10. So it is grouping of 3, 8, and 10, 12 houses are present at the star level and sub level, along with the favorable grouping also. So Lagna having some weakness at the star level and sub level, further supported by the star lord of the sub lord. Now, look at that chart. Venus is conjoined with the Rahu, afflicted by Rahu. That Rahu is having 3 and 12. So now, star lord planet Venus is conjoined with the Rahu. So 3, 8, and 12 are combinedly signifying Lagna Lord in the star of Venus. Venus is having some weakness, and that is further supported by Rahu by way of conjunction 312, and that Rahu itself is the sublord for the Venus. So that way, that Lagna is having weakness at the star level and also sublord, and further supported by the star lord of the sublord, and this combination is forming ruler's link. Because Venus is conjoined with Rahu, the Rahu is the sublord for the Venus. That way, the ruler link also formed, right? Moreover, you can see Mercury is conjoined with the Saturn. Mercury planet is conjoined with the Saturn. Saturn represents Rahu. Rahu having these significations 3 and 12. So that way, this Rahu also forming ruler link to the Mercury. So Lagna Lord is under the influence of the Venus and also Rahu by way of supports, also by way of ruler link, also by way of rulers also, right? I think we're able to understand how the Lagna is having some weakness at the star and sublevel. I'm trying to explain in detail so that you will identify rulers, how they are present, how they are forming only the star level and sublevel, or also through the supports. So with the help of the support planets, we can find, and you can open that EPS table you can find. Suppose if you open that EPS table, star level Venus is having Rahu in supports because conjoined with Rahu, that Rahu itself is the sublord forming ruler link. You understand? Mercury having got Saturn in conjunction, you can see Rahu is playing as the supports. Mercury is having Rahu in its supports because Saturn represents Rahu. That Rahu playing role at the sublord. So Mercury having that unfavorable planet, that Rahu, Saturn, and that is influencing the star lord and also planet. So that way 3, 8, 12 grouping are present. I think you're able to understand. So Lagna having got some weakness, but not completely unfavorable. Right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to check the Lagna sublord also. Lagna sublord is which planet? Lagna sublord is Saturn. Check the Lagna sublord, Saturn itself, that is the representing Rahu. So Lagna sublord itself is 5, 6, 4 and 7, 7. It is good only, but 6 and 4 is indicating weakness, but not detrimental. But Saturn represents Rahu 3 and 12. That is not strongly unfavorable. Lagna 1, 3, 12 representing Rahu, that representing Saturn, that is having weakness. But star lord is Venus. Like Lagna lord in the star of Venus, Lagna sublord also representing Rahu 312 in the star of Venus. That is not good. And sublord is again Saturn, again same planet repeated. So Lagna sublord also connected to 3rd house, 8th house, 10th house, 12th house, and also Badhaga house. Because Badhaga lord, that I forgot to inform that Mercury, when we are talking about Lagna Lord, Mercury is sign exchange with the Jupiter. That Jupiter is Badhaga Lord, and also aspecting to that, that is additionally adding unfavorable influence on the Mercury, which is already having some weakness. Now, Saturn is aspected by that Jupiter, the Rasi Lord. So that Badhaga Lord also connected. So Badhaga, 7th house, Badhaga Lord also connected. So Lagna sublord also having some weakness. The role of Rahu also playing role, right? So that way Lagna sublord also having some weakness at the star level and also sub level. Now what we have to do, we have studied the Lagna. Now we have to study the important house, 3rd house and moon. Let us check the 3rd lord. 3rd lord is Mars. 3rd lord Mars Just a minute. Third Lord Mars, eighth Lord also Mars occupying third house, and 216 cuspal star Lord. That is not weak, right? It is a mixed significator because of eighth Lord having got this one. Mars in the star of Mercury is favorable. So third house is, connected to 1, 5, 11 is good. But Mercury in the star of Venus, it is having weakness. But you can see sublord is Rahu. Rahu is creating the problem. Third Lord, that thought process, third house matters. Eighth Lord also occupying third house, that too in the sign of own sign, that is Scorpio sign, watery sign. It is indicating that wavering mind and always thinking something with hidden things and all. Consistently, it will be talking and be thinking about that too. Mars is vigorously, it will be thinking on such things. Star level is, or fortunately, it is favorable, but 12 level and sub level are not supporting to the star lords 5 and 11, but they are all causing trouble or indicating weakness to the third house matters. So unfavorable planet is there at the sub level, weakening the third house to some extent. Fortunately, star lord is good. Now third sublord. Third sublord is Rahu. Rahu, third sublord, and also 12th sublord in the star of Mars 3 and 8, 3, and sublord again Rahu. You can see these planets is in the star of unfavorable 383, 216, and sub of 2A level planet is favorable. It is reducing the unfavorable strength and supporting to the 3 and 3. That is the one positive point. If the star lord or the star lord is also like Rahu or other unfavorable Venus, then it will be very bad. Now, third sublord in the star of a planet which is supporting to 3 and 3, but a weakness also. But star lord of the star lord, it is having some supportive significations to the Lagna, supporting to the 3rd house. It is good. But sublord is again, it is indicating weakness. So it means what? 3rd house, 12th house are repeatedly coming connected to the 8th house also. So that way, that third sublord, the two Karaga planet, that is Rahu and Saturn is playing role, and that Rahu is conjoined with the Venus that already discussed, that is also 8 and 10. So if you look at the significations on its own, it is having less unfavorable. When it is conjoined with the Venus 8 and 10, this is going to add furthermore unfavorable strength. So now third sublord also having some weakness because of the star level and sub level. Third lord also having the weakness. Now we have to check the moon. So Lagna is afflicted, third house matters are afflicted, but not completely unfavorable because Mercury is saving. And those planets also having favorable and unfavorable. Third house, fifth house are all playing role. Third house playing role is good only, but when third is connected to 8th house and 12th house, the third house are disturbed. Right? Now let us check the moon, the Karaga planet for the mind. Moon is red planet. In the star of Ketu, also red planet. Sub of Venus, red planet. It is indicating clearly moon is afflicted strongly because moon is unfavorable, already discussed, because of this 4, 6 representing Ketu. Unfortunately, moon is in the star of Maga, ruled by Ketu. It is 4, 8, 12 and 2 representing moon. This is the main unfavorable combination. Moon itself is weak. In the star of Ketu, again 4, 8, 12. So 4, 6, 12, 8 and 12 all strongly playing. 2A level planet Mercury is reducing the unfavorable strength, that is good. But sub-level planet Venus, again it is talking about 9 and 5 is good, but 8 and 10. So you can see that if you study from the source, effect and result, 4, 6, 8 and 12 and 8 and 10 all are present, especially at the CST and CSL level. And on the CLOCC, they are all having favorable. That way, there is a supportive, but not strongly, but it is also unfavorable. And star lord of the sublord is 12 and 4. Suppose CL and OCC also having unfavorable, it is going to be worst. Now, anyway, moon is afflicted by star level and sub level. Because of that, definitely moon Karagatva getting disturbed. So now what we have studied, Lagna is disturbed to some extent. And third house, more than the Lagna, Lagna also connected to the Rahu Saturn in the sub-level. And Lagna sublord itself, Rahu Ketu, it is in the sub of the Rahu Ketu, star level is Venus. And importantly, third sublord also in the star of Mars 3-8 signification, sublord Rahu itself. And more importantly, that moon, Karagatva planet for the mind itself, is having weakness. It indicates that mind is disturbed, moon is disturbed. Third house is influenced by unfavorable Mars planet, and it is making that native to have instability in the mind, and it is leading to he is not able to focus on certain things on for some time. It is a wavering mind, instability. So that is called the bipolar disorder because of this signification strongly. You can see at the time of birth he was running Ketu Mahadasa. Ketu Dasa, Venus Bhukti, only he was born. So at the time of birth itself, he is influenced by such signification. So, but Ketu was going to run for about, say, 7 years only maximum. But after Ketu Dasa, Venus Bhukti only running. No, so not 7 years. It is going to be comparatively at less. So he was running 6. You can see Dasa balance of Ketu 6 years 5 months. So it is very childhood, and he was running this Ketu period, so he would have faced problem. But during younger age itself, he would have suffered, but not unnoticed, right? But after that, you can see Venus Dasa would have been running. Venus in the star of, because the planet which are having the unfavorable key planet of the destiny, which is giving more trouble to the Lagna and third house is, and moon also, Ketu and moon only, right? Ketu, moon, and the Rahu, because Rahu is 3 and 12 cuspal sublord. Because and Rahu comes, automatically Venus will come in. So these are the unfavorable key planets, that red color planets, Ketu, moon, Venus, and Rahu. These planets, when they are ruling the rulers of the Dasa Lord, those Dasa Lord will give trouble. Here, Venus is not having this. Importantly, moon, Ketu are not playing. Sun is not having moon, Ketu, but it is having Rahu. It is indicating some weakness, but not detrimental. But from June 2022, last year, he is running moon Mahadasa. Imagine when moon Dasa itself is running, definitely that moon, the Karaga planet for the mind itself is running with all unfavorable grouping. He will suffer from the bipolar disorder. Because of this favorable grouping also present, because of the Lagna and the third house matters also having some favorable signification, he will have favorable also, but unfavorable will be on the higher side, because Dasa Lord itself is moon is running, and the moon is indicating unfavorable significations to the mind, and also that Lagna. Already, as we discussed, Lagna having some weakness, and the third house matters are getting weakness, right? No, so because those planets under the influence of the unfavorable key planets, they will give the trouble. That mind also, mind itself, that Karaga planet for the mind, moon itself is afflicted. That moon itself is the Dasa Lord. During that period, that native is going to face more problem in the in his focus, concentration. He will suffer from this bipolar disorder seriously during this moon Mahadasa. If the third cuspal sublord or third lord, or if they are not connected to this unfavorable signification, then the impact will be comparatively lesser. During moon period, he will face problem, but not in that severe manner, because if the third house or the third sublord are not afflicted by this unfavorable grouping, it means destiny is not, if it is not giving, then there is no issue. But when destiny itself is having such signification, then automatically then that is going to give more trouble. If the destiny is not signifying such problem, when moon is connected, moon is signifying such signification, that moon will have problem. Moon will give some trouble, but not like this. So when Lagna is influenced by this, and you can see Lagna and Lagna sublord itself is third sublord connected to that, connected to this one. So this Lagna sublord is connected to 8 and 12 signification, 3, 8, 12 signification, and third sublord also having got such signification. Third house matters are disturbed, and third lord itself is got weakness and supported by the sublord Rahu. So when these destiny already influenced, third house matters are influenced, and moon also getting disturbed, seriously, during that moon dasa, definitely the native will have that bipolar disorder in a serious manner. So this is what happening in the previous period. The native somehow could balance because that moon, Venus and sun period were not strongly influenced by that moon Ketu, not directly, right? So, but in the moon dasa when started, he started facing that trouble, mental disorders. That is not mental disorder; it is bipolar disorder. I think we're able to understand how to check the destiny and how to study the rule. I mean, key planets of the destiny, if they are playing role in the Dasa Lord when it is going to run, then the impact is going to be more. That to here, the important planet is Moon itself is afflicted strongly. Third house is afflicted, and that Moon itself is acting as the Dasa Lord. Then the impact is going to be more. That is what happening. I think you're able to understand, and we will meet in the next video with another case. Good luck.